So what do you get when you cross ChatGPT with the most annoying voiceover ever and someone who knows literally nothing about the show that you're covering? You get Flixtoon and possibly the worst video on Spongebob I have ever watched. Hey! So I was originally not planning on doing a video on this channel, mainly just because their videos are like 30 minutes of ChatGPT scripts with an annoying voiceover, but people were saying a video was warranted, so I'll sit through one video of this slop for y'all.
From sneaky manipulation to snarky revenge, what if I told you Karen is the real brains behind the mayhem? Today we're diving into her shady schemes, brutal takedowns, and yes, even a jealousy-fueled revenge. And in Plankton, her calculated support drives him to take a major risk.
Sorry, I hate this guy's voice. I think it might be a real person doing the voiceover, so in that case, I'm sorry, but apparently he's on like so many different channels that it might be AI, so who knows.
SpongeBob's heading home, blissfully unaware of the microscopic menace lurking in his path. Plankton's there with his next big plan, probably inspired by a certain AI wifey. A little emotional manipulation.
Ironic. Notice how Karen has not even appeared in the show yet at this point. Like, this is Plankton, but he already did the Plankton video, so this will have to do.
He stops by Squidward's house just to toss out some insults, then swings by Patrick's rock and literally tosses his best friend aside. Plankton's ultimate goal? March SpongeBob into the Krusty Krab, swipe a Krabby Patty, and finally claim victory.
3 whole minutes, and Karen has still not even done anything.
Only he bounces off it and lands smack inside his own analyzer, trapping himself in his computer screen.
Plankton, 1% evil, 99% hot gas.
And now he don't even mention her by name, calling her a computer screen. Okay.
Plankton, who can evidently plan for anything except his own stupid moves, now finds himself locked in a digital cage. Maybe you should have consulted your AI wifey before jumping into this crazy scheme, Plankton.
Oh, you want people to consult AI, huh? I wonder why. And also, if that's something he didn't do, then that just means Karen did nothing this episode, so you're kinda contradicting yourself. Basically what I'm saying is, if Flixtoon thinks that Plankton should have consulted his wife, you know, Karen, AI wifey as he calls it, if he should have done that, then that means he didn't do it, and then that means that Karen didn't help Plankton in this episode, so we just recapped the episode Plankton for 3 minutes, even though it had nothing to do with Karen.
With Karen witnessing every single one of his failed schemes and embarrassing outbursts, maybe she has a plan of her own. Meanwhile, over at SpongeBob's, it looks like his next wake-up call will be a bit of a biohazard alert in The Fungus Among Us.
Gang, just retire. Karen is not even in this episode. Bro is doing the sponge truth method.
Just as SpongeBob's attempting damage control, Patrick arrives, perfectly timed to make everything worse, as per bloody usual. When he sees the fungus spreading across SpongeBob's head, does he suggest calling a doctor? Of course not.
Is this video about the dark side of Patrick, or Plankton, or Karen? I'm a bit confused.
SpongeBob eventually stumbles into the Krusty Krab, thinking he can just go about his shift as if he isn't literally shedding spores. But the fungus ain't going quietly, almost like it's been engineered to be a sticky bastard.
Ah, I see where this shit is going.
Soon spreads to Old Man Walker, and before long, the whole town is about to be hit by the ick. It's like a certain AI wifey had the bright idea to infect the Krusty Krab's only fry cook with the ick.
You can't just recap episodes for 5 minutes, adding nothing new except saying, that's a mean thing to do. Just to turn around and start making, like, fan theories out of them nowhere.
A whole biohazard bubble around his pineapple, because he's now Bikini Bottom's public enemy #1, it seems. Did we forget about the teeny villain and his robot wife?
Yeah, I did, cause they are not in this episode.
Patrick shows up, still totally oblivious to how serious this has gotten, and decides it's the perfect time to play some pirate wrestling with his old pal. In a move no one saw coming, but probably should have, he pops Spongebob's containment bubble.
Y'all wanna do something fun? Let's compare what Flixtoon is saying right here to what is written on the episode's wiki page.
Back at the Krusty Krab, the fungus spreads like wildfire.
Either this is just the AI script pulling from the site as its source, cause obviously ChatGPT can't be original, or Mr. Flixtoon is simply himself, or I guess themselves, it's probably multiple people running the channel. They're just taking the synopsis of the wiki and rewriting it really lazily. The episode is right there, bro. Like you had to get the clips from somewhere, just watch the episode.
Just as everyone's starting to panic, SpongeBob arrives in his bubble looking like a walking mushroom farm.
That's, I think, what's the biggest problem with this stuff and SpongeTube for me. SpongeBob is a children's cartoon that's super easy to understand. All you need to do to like be on SpongeTube is watch SpongeBob episodes and then have some sort of take or conclusion. And then you have a video. My lore videos come from just me watching the show a lot and making connections and stuff. It's not rocket science. When you can't even do that and have to use AI or plagiarize just to recap an episode of SpongeBob, you're just a loser, it's that simple.
For all of Plankton's wild schemes, watching crabs make a quick buck off an accidental fungus apocalypse might just be his most humiliating move yet.
He didn't even say Karen, like dude, at least connect it or something.
You've gotta wonder though if Karen's got anything to do with this besides taking notes.
Yeah, you gotta wonder. The dark side of Karen, and it's just an episode without Karen or even Plankton, that maybe Plankton could be behind a scheme in with no proof, and then maybe Karen could have helped him. I'm making the Squidward terrorist theory, like at this point it's... yeah.
But in Algae's Always Greener, she proves she's a mastermind at planting ideas.
Let's go. An actual episode where both Karen and Plankton appear.
One casual suggestion and suddenly Plankton's out here plotting a total life swap.
I wish I could be successful like Mr. Krabs.
So Karen bluntly asks,
Then why don't you just use them switch lives just to know what it's like on microfire thing?
This shit is legit not even dark or evil or anything really. I'm sure he will use those words, since that's all he does in these videos, but this is Karen reminding Plankton that he can do a life switch simulation. It's not even real, like if anything it's kind of nice to remind Plankton of this.
Thanks to Karen's suggestion and better memory, Plankton soon wakes up in an alternate universe where he's taken over the Krusty Krab.
Karen does not do anything else in this episode, she's not even in the simulation, so literally none of this is relevant to the video either.
And naturally he goes by Mr. Plankton now. With his new identity, he struts around in Krabs' clothes and office feeling like he's hit the jackpot.
Imagine if when I did my video on SpongeBob's Garage, and it was in an episode for 10 seconds, I started by taking like 4 minutes recapping the entire episode, like when the garage is not on screen. I mean, longer videos pay better, maybe that's the move.
When Plankton casually critiques him for using
The sauce, I don't know, you're using too much sauce, okay? Review's over.
SpongeBob spirals into emotional meltdown mode, taking constructive criticism to a whole new level of distress.
Y'all are legit ruining these episodes for me, I'm not even joking. Like, watching Spongelice or this robot is not making me want to watch these great episodes at all. Even the clips are like becoming tainted.
Which annoys alternate universe Squidward enough that he quits on the spot. Squidward storms off only to be immediately roped into fry cooking, a role he detests even more than cashiering.
What about Karen, bro? She's in the title of the video, she's what the video is about, gang. Come on, gang.
This level of drama and insanity proves too much for Plankton, who quickly realizes that Krabs' life might be even more intolerable than his own.
His own! Shut your British ass up. I'm not really helping my case, am I?
In the end, Karen's clever suggestion didn't lead him to happiness or riches, but it did show him just how disastrous Mr. Krabs' life really is. And it's pretty clear that Karen's advice might have a little more bite than Plankton ever realizes.
This is literally recapping the entire episode because of a 20-second scene at the start, to make a point that literally goes against the premise of the video. Someone has brain damage here, and I will too soon.
Great Patty Caper. The Great Patty Caper, an episode that's part train heist, part culinary crisis, and all-around plankton mischief. Karen's husband is back at it, hopping on the Rob Spongebob blind train.
Karen's husband is great. I gotta check out his Plankton video, or probably videos, to see if he's just reusing the same episode with a different character in the title.
Karen's probably at home watching the whole disaster on some hidden live stream, sipping oil tea and thinking, he just never learns, does he?
Very dark, very scary. You know the thumbnail is her trying to fuck Mr. Krabs with the words "she is evil" on screen, right?
The episode opens with SpongeBob at the Krusty Krab discovering that they've officially hit rock bottom. The freezer is completely empty of Krabby Patties. 0 patties. Dude, you'd think he'd found a ghost in there with the way he starts screaming.
I really hate this shit. Like, this channel's whole stick is every character in Spongebob is evil and should be locked up. And that's what many of these channels do. It's SpongeBob, why are you making a comment about him overreacting to there not being Krabby Patties? Like, have you watched SpongeBob ever, or are you just reading like the wiki synopsis?
Mr. Krabs jumps in and they both try to remember how to make the patties, only to have a momentary lapse in memory. So the recipe they've guarded with their lives, poof, temporarily lost to the vault.
I have actually not seen this one in a while, and it's a special, so if my memory serves me correct, Karen's not gonna be in this one either, and he's gonna have even more time to recap an episode.
Sometime along the way, the key goes missing.
That, my dear Patrick, is the key!
SpongeBob and Patrick go full detective mode, frantically searching for the culprit. First up, Plankton.
Don't you mean Karen's husband? I'm losing my mind. I gotta watch his videos on some, like, more obscure characters. He's probably gonna blame Scooter for SpongeBob's house getting eaten up or something.
Plankton, of course, swoops in and snatches the key right from under them. I wonder if this was his grand plan, or if Karen once again gave him the idea. Not to be outdone, SpongeBob turns himself into a human hang glider. Don't ask.
Don't need to ask, it's a cartoon. Also, he's not like a human, but who cares, how is there 20 minutes left?
This means they're now in charge of stopping it. Yippee! And in a typical Patrick fashion, he helps by breaking the brake lever, sending the train into a complete out-of-control nightmare.
There goes Karen. Breaking levers and stuff, you know. She's really a menace.
Only to be caught by Mr. Krabs at the worst possible moment. And there you have it, another Plankton fail, an epic train wreck, and Karen, somewhere, probably watching all of this unfold like it's her own personal soap opera.
You are not real. Like, the word probably there is doing some heavy lifting, and even then, okay. She's watching Plankton fail, maybe. When is she smashing crabs? Like, give me a timestamp.
And in fun, she guides Plankton straight into SpongeBob's heart, only to tear it to shreds.
This should legitimately have been the only episode on the list. Like, it's number 6, but everything before this is not about her, so you should just have scrapped it.
Karen, the mastermind herself, sees this as a perfect opportunity. Karen's helpful advice: befriend SpongeBob, play nice, and use him to finally get that precious Krabby Patty recipe. Cold? Absolutely.
That pissed me off. But yeah, actual Karen doing something a bit dark.
In true Plankton style, though, the getaway goes horribly wrong. He slams right into the concrete wall behind the movie screen, ending up flattened and pattyless.
Nitpick, but like, show that on screen instead of earlier footage. He's not lying, but that's how they get you. Bro could have said, like, we see Karen watching all of this and then not show proof, so then people don't know he's capping.
The attic isn't just a forgotten storage space, it's a treasure trove of SpongeBob's hidden interests. You will find jellyfishing nets, spatulas, and more. It's basically the place where SpongeBob's quirkiest ideas are born. And yes, there's also a hat rack dedicated entirely to his many work hats.
Did bro just not have footage of the episode, or is the AI lying to him so he couldn't find it?
After all, why should Karen waste her circuits on this mess of a town, unless it's to watch Plankton's latest victory spiral into disaster? Get ready for Plankton's regular.
This one has Karen actually doing something as well. Yet again, it's not something dark, she's being nice to Plankton. He recaps the episode for 3 minutes while adding nothing.
Laughing like a maniac while SpongeBob just watches in silence. And there you have it, folks. Karen, the true mastermind, pulls the strings to remind Plankton that even his brief moment of triumph was just an illusion.
That's certainly a way to look at it.
And Karen's ready to up the ante. Time for SpongeBob's Last Stand, where Karen pushes Plankton's schemes from petty mischief to full-blown chaos in Bikini Bottom.
She's like barely in this episode. I think she's in like one scene, but go off.
Karen might be the true mastermind behind Plankton's most diabolical schemes, subtly steering him towards actions that go way beyond just stealing the Krabby Patty formula. If Plankton's got a dark side, Karen's the one casting the shadows. The mastermind behind this plan is none other than Plankton. Her influence here is subtle but powerful. She's the one feeding Plankton's ambition, even if it means trampling a beloved Bikini Bottom landmark.
She gives him a back massage. You absolute moron, bro.
But we're left with a sneaking suspicion. Is Plankton's evil just an extension of Karen's ambition? This episode subtly shines a light on that eerie possibility, showing that Karen might be the real driving force behind some of Plankton's most ruthless plans.
She does not do anything in this episode, like legit nothing except the evil back massage.
In Chum Bucket Supreme, she's about to unleash some serious power moves that make her intentions clear and maybe even a little sinister. From the get-go, Karen isn't interested in mere survival for their business. No, she wants domination.
No. It's Plankton that wants domination. Again, have you watched any episode of this show?
They only parked there because the Krusty Krab's lot was full. Classic. Here's where Karen steps in, suggesting Plankton actually advertise his product.
Advertise your product, of course.
Very dark, very world dominationary.
This might sound like simple business advice, but Karen's influence has this no-nonsense, do-or-die edge to it. She wants results, and she wants them now, setting the stage for a bit of authoritarian marketing.
You have your own image of Karen, I feel like. Bro said the AI wifey a few too many times for me to look past stuff like this.
That's all it takes to start a full-on bloody chum revolution. Karen seizes on this moment and convinces Plankton to hire Patrick as the slogan manager.
Karen does not say that. It's Plankton that hires Patrick on his own. Like his own will. Like, watch the episode, robot.
It's a cautionary tale. Under Karen's watchful eye, Plankton's path to greatness will always come with a dark side, often costing him more than he gains.
You could remove like 10 words from each episode entry and it would literally not even be about Karen.
Ah, Karen 2.0, the episode where we see Karen's not-so-friendly side come to light, and honestly, it's both unsettling and oddly satisfying.
You're a weirdo, man.
Right from the start, it's clear Karen's more than just a background wifey gadget. When Plankton casually reveals he's made Karen 2, you can almost feel Karen's circuits sparking with rage.
Well, you would know, huh? This episode probably related with bro, like it really touched his, I don't know, not heartstrings, but like cables.
Instead of appreciating her effort, Plankton immediately criticizes her, declaring that her memory is full and that this new model will solve all these problems. Harsh, bro. I'ma say it. Toll.
Yet again, bro, your example is going against your video's premise.
Plankton and Karen 2 arrive at the Krusty Krab with Karen 2 hilariously malfunctioning at the door, unable to enter since Plankton didn't think to program her with arms. Who needs arms when you're a trophy wife anyway?
I really can't wait to be done with this video. Like, Sponge Truths was pretty bad, but this is like... yeah, this is a lot... like, I don't know how to describe this. It's like these videos are like anti-fun.
Of course, Krabs decides to repurpose Karen 2's shell, slapping it on Squidward and forcing him to play robot cashier.
Keep it up, Mr. Squidward. The kids love robots.
Bet bro loved hearing that. Shit. What was I saying? I bet bro loved hearing that as well.
Plankton's army. This time, she's ready to be the spark that lights the fuse. The episode kicks off with Mr. Krabs gloating about the silver anniversary of Plankton's endless failures, but Plankton won't miss a chance to crash the party. He rolls in with a robot disguise.
Kinda like you when you made your channel, but I guess reversed.
And here's where it gets dark. Karen knows full well these relatives are clueless, yet she's fine with enabling Plankton's delusion. Maybe she knows it's all going to blow up in his face, but she's more than willing to watch it happen.
What? She's making fun of him for his name and then gets turned off by Plankton, like bro is just straight up lying here.
Plankton's army reveals how far Karen is willing to go to support Plankton's dangerous ambitions, no matter how absurd or risky. It's not just loyalty, it's her active complicity, enabling him to keep chasing his wild schemes even when they're clearly doomed to fail.
No, it doesn't. Literally, it's the opposite to what your British ass is yapping about. Like, this is just nonsense.
Karen's role here hints at something darker, a side of her that delights in Plankton's obsession, almost as if she's feeding off his chaotic energy and encouraging his worst tendencies. But hey, I'm just a guy who likes cartoons.
He even hearted a comment on this video calling him an AI content farm, like wrap it up.